Imagine what would happen tomorrow if every major government on Earth simultaneously confirmed, we are not alone, not a distant signal, not a blurry photograph, not another unexplained object, but an actual extraterrestrial civilization standing before humanity. For some people, it would be the greatest discovery in human history. For others, it could destroy everything they thought they understood about reality, religion, science, politics, history, our understanding of humanity itself. According to one modern channel message, full disclosure has been delayed because humanity's collective consciousness was supposedly not ready. The fear of mass hysteria, the fear of shock, and the fear of social instability were described as major reasons for the slow approach toward disclosure. Content reference oocyte, 1 index equals 1, but there is something even more interesting. The message suggests that contact isn't simply about whether aliens are ready to meet us. It is about whether we are ready to meet them. For thousands of years, human civilization has been built around one fundamental assumption. We are alone, even when people believed in gods, angels, spirits, or beings from the heavens. They were still interpreted through human culture. But imagine discovering an actual civilization, one that evolved somewhere else. They could have technologies thousands, or even millions, of years ahead of ours. They could understand physics we haven't discovered. They could know the origins of life. They could know whether humanity has been visited before. They could even possess answers to questions that humans have been asking since the beginning of civilization. Where did consciousness come from? Are we alone? What happens after death? Why are we here? And suddenly, the question wouldn't simply be, are aliens real? It would become, what else have we been wrong about? But perhaps there is another possibility. Maybe they are not hiding from us. Maybe they are protecting us from themselves. Think about the technological difference between humanity today and humanity 1,000 years ago. A person from the year 1000 would barely recognize the modern world. Now imagine a civilization that is 1 million years ahead of us. To them, our technology might look primitive. Our weapons, our spacecraft, our artificial intelligence, our communication systems could be as primitive to them as stone tools are to us. If such a civilization wanted to reveal itself, it could probably do so, which creates an uncomfortable question. If they can find us, and if they can reach us, why don't they simply land in the middle of a major city? Perhaps because contact is not supposed to happen that way. Perhaps the first contact must begin slowly, through awareness, individual experiences, and gradual changes in human perception, not invasion, not conquest, preparation. This is where the story takes an unexpected turn. According to many modern spiritual traditions, extraterrestrial contact is not only physical, it can also be consciousness-based. Telepathy, dream experiences, meditation, intuition, altered states of consciousness, and what some people describe as remembering something they never consciously learned. One 2026 message published through Era of Light describes first contact as beginning internally, with humanity becoming more open-hearted and less driven by fear. Content reference oocyte 2, index equals 2. Another message describes contact as something that can happen at the level of consciousness, rather than simply through spacecraft appearing in the sky. Content reference oocyte 3, index equals 3. And this changes the entire idea of disclosure. Maybe disclosure isn't supposed to begin with aliens have arrived. Maybe it begins with humanity becoming psychologically and spiritually capable of accepting that possibility. But then, how will we know the difference between genuine contact and our own imagination? There's another explanation, and this one is much more familiar. Governments may have reasons to keep extraordinary information classified. Imagine discovering a technology capable of producing almost unlimited energy. What would happen to the global energy industry? What would happen to oil, gas, electricity, transportation, military technology, and global economics? One 2026 channel message claims that extraterrestrial technology could threaten existing economic power structures, and specifically connects delayed disclosure with the enormous economic interests surrounding fossil fuels. Content reference oocyte for index equals 4. Whether or not that claim is true, the question itself is fascinating, because throughout history, information has always been connected to power. And if extraterrestrial technology really existed, the knowledge of how it works could potentially be one of the most valuable secrets on Earth. Perhaps the question isn't, why haven't aliens revealed themselves? Perhaps it's, who would benefit from keeping the possibility hidden? Here is where the story becomes even stranger. What if first contact doesn't happen on one specific day? No announcement, no enormous spacecraft above Washington, no worldwide broadcast. Instead, a gradual process, one strange sighting, one unexplained encounter, one whistleblower, one document, one unexplained technological discovery, one person reporting an experience, then another and another, until eventually, the impossible becomes ordinary. Some spiritual messages describe disclosure exactly this way. As a gradual process rather than one dramatic event, information, contact, sightings, and revelation supposedly arriving in stages, while humanity adapts to each new development. Content reference oocyte 5, index equals 5. If that idea were true, then perhaps the real question isn't, when will disclosure happen? Maybe it has already begun. But if contact really is approaching, who exactly are we waiting for? Pleiadians? Arcturians? Sirians? Yayo? Or civilizations we haven't even imagined? Different contact stories describe completely different extraterrestrial civilizations. Some are portrayed as highly advanced biological beings. Others are described as multidimensional. Some supposedly communicate telepathically. Others supposedly possess technologies that allow them to travel between dimensions. And some stories even claim that certain civilizations have been observing Earth for thousands of years. But there's a problem. We have no scientifically verified evidence confirming that these specific civilizations exist. And that means we have to be careful. The stories may be fascinating, but fascination is not proof. Still, there is one thing these stories all have in common. They describe humanity as being at the beginning, rather than the end, of its understanding of a universe. Perhaps the most beautiful, and also the strangest, idea is that extraterrestrial disclosure is supposedly connected to human evolution, not technological evolution, consciousness. According to this belief, humanity cannot enter a larger cosmic civilization while it remains dominated by fear, violence, greed, and division. The idea is simple. If humanity discovers technology powerful enough to cross the stars, before it learns how to control itself, the result could be catastrophic. So perhaps advanced civilizations would have a reason to remain silent, not because humanity is insignificant, but because humanity is dangerous. We have already created weapons capable of destroying our own civilization. We are developing artificial intelligence faster than we understand its consequences, and we continue to divide ourselves over borders, ideologies, religion, and power. So maybe the beings we are waiting for are waiting for one simple thing: for humanity to become mature enough to join the conversation. So, why haven't the aliens revealed themselves? Maybe there are no aliens. Maybe these stories are simply modern mythology, a reflection of humanity's ancient desire to know that we are not alone. Maybe the strange lights are misunderstood phenomena. Maybe the messages are products of human imagination. Maybe there is another explanation entirely. But if the stories are true, then something much more extraordinary may be happening. Perhaps extraterrestrial civilizations already know that Earth exists. Perhaps they have been observing us. Perhaps they have even interacted with individuals, while remaining hidden from the larger population. And perhaps they are not waiting for a new spacecraft. They are waiting for a new humanity, a humanity that can encounter the unknown without immediately turning it into fear. a humanity that can discover extraordinary technology without destroying itself, a humanity capable of looking into the universe and realizing that the universe may be looking back. There is no scientifically verified evidence that extraterrestrial civilizations are currently waiting to reveal themselves to humanity. But the question remains fascinating, because one day, humanity will discover whether we are truly alone. And when that day comes, the greatest revelation may not be that aliens exist. It may be that we were never alone to begin with. This is the Crystal Mind. We first listen to the story, then we discover what is really behind it.